So today we are going to start the second chapter, which is uh, database systems concept and architecture. Okay, so in this chapter we are going to cover data models, schemas, instances, and then three schema architecture and data independence, database languages and interfaces, database system environment and centralized and client server architecture or DBMS, classification of database management systems. So the basic client server DBMS, because last class also we have discussed little bit about client and server thing. So in client server, what happens? How client server looks like? Like you have a server, you have a server here, and you have this internet connected to server, and then clients are maybe laptop, laptop, then mobile phone, or maybe desktop. These are clients. Okay, so here responses will go, and response also will come from server side. So these are clients. Client 1, client 2, client 3, there may be a number of clients. So this is the client server thing. Now here uh, in basic client server DBMS architecture, the system functionally is distributed between two types of modules. Okay, first module is called client module. So this is the client module, and the second, so client module. What is client module? Client module is typically designed so that it will run on a personal computer or user workstation. Typically, the application programs and user interfaces that access the database run in the client module. Okay, so what are the things run in the client module? User interfaces that access the database mainly. Okay, the client module handles the user interaction. So this client module handles user interaction, user interaction and provides user-friendly interfaces such as forms or menu-driven GUI. So basically menu-driven GUI, user interaction, these all things are managed by the client module, where in database, client server database. Okay. And what about the server module? Server module typically handles data storage. So server module is basically handles data storage, access, search, and other functions. Okay. So this is the case of client server architecture. Next is data abstraction. So data abstraction comes under data models, schemas, and instances. Okay. So first of all, what is abstraction? You all know what is abstraction. Okay. So the broader meaning of abstraction is very common. Abstraction. Abstraction always means summary. Okay. Summary. So if you see the object-oriented language like C, C++, or Java, in that case, object is the abstraction of object is the abstraction of the whole class. Okay, object. So what do we write? We write class name and then object variable. Okay, object variable, class name and object variable. So this is the object. This is abstraction. Object is nothing but abstraction of the class. Now in class what happens? In class we can write methods, data encapsulation, data hiding, all the procedure and functions we do, and we club them together. So that's why this class is nothing but abstract data type. Abstract data type. If you remember, what is abstract data type? If somebody asks you, you have to tell immediately. Abstract data type is nothing but a data type, which is nothing but a combination of methods, data, functions, everything together. Okay. So earlier we had integer and floating and character. Once you learn this object-oriented concept, this class also is an abstract data type. Okay. So in C programming, if you have done in C programming, what is abstraction? Abstraction of structure. Structure variable is the abstraction of the structure. Structure also what happens? Structure actually comes from methodical language, method language, high-level language, methodical language to once we start with the structure in C, then scientists change the structure to class in C++ and Java. Okay, so structure variable is the abstraction of the whole structure. So structure also does the same thing. What it does, combines the method, data, everything together. So it works like a single entity, which is a summary. Okay, in a small thing. Here also data abstraction is important in case of database. So data abstraction generally refers to the separation of details of data organization and storage. Separation of details of data organization and storage. Okay, and highlighting the essential features of an improved understanding of data. So data abstraction is what? Data abstraction is the separation of details. So data abstraction is something which we can show to the other people, like this is the overall thing of the database. That is data abstraction, where you are not going to show the detail but the minimum stuff from the database, which is sufficient to convince the other people who is interested in your database. Okay, so that is data abstraction. So data abstraction is important. One of the main characteristics of the database approach is to support data abstraction. The database approach has to support data abstraction, okay, so that different user can perceive data at their preferred level of detail. Okay. Next is data model. Once you understand data abstraction, we have to go to data model. So data abstraction is just the separation of everything, just to showing the basic thing, that is data abstraction. Now next is data model. What is data model? A collection of concepts that can be used to describe the structure of the database. Okay, that is called data model. A collection of concepts that can be used to describe the structure of the database, provides the necessary means to achieve this abstraction, provide the necessary means to achieve this data abstraction. So whatever data abstraction we have seen earlier, data model is just the tool which will help us to implement the data abstractions practically. Okay, so which provide the necessary means to achieve this data abstraction. By structure of database, we mean data types, relationship, and constraint that apply to the data. So structure of database means what? That means it implements data model implements the abstraction of the database. The data model is a collection of concepts that can be used to describe the structure of the database. Now, what does it mean? Structure. Structure means structure of the database. Okay, that means data types, relationship among tables, and constraint that are applied to the data. Now, most data model also include set of basic operations or specifying retrieval and updates. Okay, retrieval and updates are also included in the data model. Retrieval and updates, the basic operations. The retrieval and updates are the basic operation in any database. Okay? This is the second thing, data models. Now, what is abstraction? Abstraction is nothing but simplified representation of the whole database. Okay, and this is the data model. Now, in addition to basic operations, that means the In addition to basic operation provided by data model, it is becoming more common to include concept that the data model to specify the dynamic aspects or behavior of the database application. So third thing is the dynamic aspect or behavior of the database application. Meaning is what? Dynamic aspect meaning is that this allows the database designer to specify a set of valid user-defined operations that are allowed on the database. So dynamic aspect of behavior means, let's say if you have written a user-defined, let us say if you have written a user-defined user-defined function. Let's say you have written user-defined function. What kind of function? Let's say you have written a function called compute underscore GPA. This is the function that means we will be computing the GPA. So which can be applied to student database, student object. Okay. So this thing, if you write compute underscore GPA, you should be able to write such kind of functions which is user defined. That means your database should have a dynamic aspect. So this is the dynamic aspect of the database that you can write anytime any functions that are related to the database. Dynamic aspects of behavior of the database application. Okay, that is called dynamic aspect. That means I can write some function, let us say called uh, find 9 pointers. Okay, one function I can write. So immediately my database has to be responsive towards that. I should be able to write that find 9 pointers function to the database. That means a user defined function I should be able to write. That means dynamically database has to respond to my function, user defined function. That is called dynamic aspect of or behavior of the database application. So it allows database designer to specify set of valid operation allowed on database object. Okay, this is there. So these 3 points are important. What are the 3 points? First is data abstraction, data model, and then in data model we will be having basic operations such as retrieval and updates, and then finally we can also have these dynamic aspects of behavior of a database. Okay, this is there. Next is, so these things are important: data model, and then client model, server module. You have understood client module and server module. So client modules is typically designed so that it will run on a user workstations or personal computer, and server module typically handle data storage. So these things are clear to you. Next we have very important, students, concentrate, categories of data models. Okay, categories of data models. Give me 30 seconds. Okay. Next is category of data models. Okay. So data models is nothing but the way we should implement the uh, data abstraction. Okay. Now, what are the categories of data models? We have majorly three categories. Okay. First category is called high level or conceptual data models. First category, high level or conceptual data models. Okay. So what is conceptual data models? So conceptual data model provide concepts that are close to the way many users perceive the data. Okay, this is conceptual model. Many users perceive the data. In other way, we can say that conceptual model, here I can write it. Conceptual model is structured business view of the data. Remember that. Okay, business view of the data required to support business process. and then it also records business process and track them, track the related performance. That is all about conceptual data model. So basically conceptual data model is meant for the structured business view. That means it is related with the business, and for that various IT tool can be used. Okay, various IT tool can be used where the data requirements and business terminology measurement across different business units, all these things will be there. So that is called conceptual model. So in a single liner definition of high level conceptual data model is that it provides the concepts that are close to the way many users perceive the data. So this is like business point of view, how you will be showing the structured business view of the data required to support business processes. That is the conceptual data model. That means it supports the business process. Okay. Next thing is that on the other hand, we have physical data model or low level data model. Okay. Physical data model or low level data model, which provide concepts that describe the details of how data is stored on the computer storage media. So here you can write, you can do written it, how data is stored on computer storage media. That means it's how storage things are being carried out on data that is being defined in low level or physical data model. Okay, so that is the physical data model. Storage media. Okay, typically magnetic disk. So main storage media is nothing but magnetic disk. Okay, so concepts provided by the low level data models are generally meant for computer specialists, not for the end users. So this one, physical data model, low level data model, is generally meant for computer specialist, computer specialist, not for end user. This is one sharp difference is there, not for end users. Okay, between so this is high level data model, this is low level data model. In between we have representation data model. Okay, in between we have representation data model. Anything left of? No. In between we have representative data, representation data model. What is representation data model? So this is just the sandwich between high level conceptual data model and low level concept, low level or physical data model. Okay, which is called representation data model. So representation data model is which provide concepts that may be easily understood by end user. So representation data model is basically for the end user. That means it is important. It is meant for the end user, but that are not too far removed from the way data is organized in computer storage. Okay, this is meant for end user. Okay, representation data models hide many details of the data storage on disk. How the detail of the data storage on disk that it will hide from the end user also, and how it can be implemented on a computer system that also will be unknown to the end user up to this much. So end user, whatever remaining things can be exposed to the end user in case of representation data model. So representation data model is basically logical data model. So I can write it here. It's a logical data model. How the system should be implemented. That means how the system should be implemented. That will be defined in representation data model. Okay, how the system should be implemented regardless of the DBMS. This is also another important point, regardless of DBMS, that is representation data model. Okay, now conceptual data models use concepts such as entities, attributes, and relationship. Uh, So conceptual data models applies the concept of entities, attributes, and relationship. An entity represents the real world object of concept such as employee or a project, and attribute represents some property of interest that further describes. Okay, so you know that entity represent the real world object entity, and real world object or concept such as employee or project from the mini world. So the whole project will be called entity. Let's say if you are dealing with student database, so all the tables together will be called an entity, and individual tables will be called employee. Individual tables, and the tables will be having their attributes. Okay, and relationship among two or more entities represent an association. So when two or more entities will be related to each other, that will be called association. Okay? So this is there. Next, so entity attribute relations. Entity represent real world object or concept. Attribute represent some property of interest. Relationship among two or more entities represent an association among entities, and which is called entity relationship model. Okay. So next we have, here anything is left out. Let me see. So already I told you that physical data model. There is something called object data model also. Okay. There are other data models are also. So relational data model is there, and then network and hierarchical models are also there. These all comes under representational data model. So representational data model could be further it has many other divisions such as uh, relational data model, network and hierarchical data model, hierarchical models, record based data models. Okay, so relational data model is a represent the database as a collection of relation. So relational data model represent the uh, relational data model represent the database as a collection of relations. A relation is nothing but a table of values. Okay, that is there. And then physical data model describes how the data is stored. These already I have discussed. Okay, and there is something, another important data model is called which is called object data model. Okay, so object data model supports uh, the data as object. So here this is important. I think this has to be discussed. So object data model, wherever there is an object, that time object data model will come. So object data model it object data model treats the data as objects by assuming properties and values of them. Okay, so object data model, and there is something also important terminology is there, which is called access path. What is access path? Access path comes under physical data model. The access path is a structure that makes the search of a particular database records efficient. Okay, that is access path. And with the access path, another important terminology comes, which is called index. So an index is an example of an access path that allows direct access to the data using an index term or keyword. So index term is nothing but keyword. Okay, so this access path and index is also important. These two are related to the physical data model, because we need an access path and we need some index to catch hold of any data from the physical data model. So these are some important terminology: object data model, entity relationship model. Entity relationship model is what? A popular high level conceptual data model. So entity relationship model is conceptual data model. Then we have relational data model, hierarchical model. These two comes under representational data models. And then we have object data models, and we have physical data models also. And then we have access path, important thing, and index. Access path and index, these two terminology helps us to find the data from the physical data. Okay, next is what? Next is very important thing, which is called database schema. Okay, so this terminology will come many times. So what is schema? Schema means, yeah. So schema, database schema, description of the database. So schema is what? Uh, it defines the entity relationship among the It defines the entities and relationship among them. Schema is nothing but it defines the entities and relationship among them. So basically, if you write the schema definition, I have to write it like this. Schema is the skeleton. Let me write it over here. Schema is a skeleton structure that represent the view of the entire database. So schema terminology will come now and then. Every frequently this terminology will pop up in front of us. Schema, okay. So it is a skeleton structure that represent the logical view. Represent the logical view of the entire database. It defines how data is organized and how the relationship among them is there. Okay, so that is what schema tells us. So if in the definition, if you go by the book definition, that the description of the database is called database schema. The description of the database is called database schema, which is specified during database design and is not expected to change frequently. So this is important thing. Schema not expected to change frequently. This is important statement. You cannot every now and then you cannot change the schema. If you change the schema, means whole database will be changed. Okay, so you cannot change the schema. Okay, so this is there. So most data model has certain convention of displaying schema as diagrams. So a display schema is called a schema diagram. Figure 2.1 show a schema diagram. Let us see the figure 2.1. So this is figure 2.1. In this figure, you can see that we have a schema. So what is the interesting thing about schema is that you can see many things here. First thing is that each diagram displays the structure of each record type, but not the actual instances. So first thing is that no instances. When you will be having schema, we will be having no instances. That means no database. No, it is not like these tables. Only the first attribute portion. This part is only available. Okay, this is one observation on schema. Second thing is that no data types are also available on schema. When you will be writing a schema, when you will be designing a schema, no data type, whether this name is varcat2, whether this student name is varcat2, whether this class is number or not, whether major is number or varcat2, that is not specified. No instances, no data types. Okay, no data type. This is second observation on schema. Okay, so figure 2.1 shows neither the data type of each data item nor the relationship among the various files. That means, let's say in this case, there is no relationship as well. So here, let's say the student number, let's say I'm assuming this is student register number, which is unique for each student. Here also student register number is there. So this can be connected to here, student register number by some connection is there, but here those connections also are not available. Okay, so other aspects, data types, record types, data item. Okay, so sorry, this one is what, neither data types or of each item, not the relationship among the various files is available in the schema. Many types of constraints are not represented in schema diagram. I'm not even saying that this is a primary key or secondary key, whatever. I'm not displaying that also. So in schema, only the attributes will be there. Records name and attribute will be there. That is a schema. So why it is not possible? Because a constraint such as students majoring in computer science, let's say must take CSE 1310 before the end of the second year. This kind of relationship, this kind of constraint, if you want to show in schema, it is very difficult. That is the reason why this constraint, none of the constraint has been shown in schema. Schema will be a very simplified picture where all records will be there and with their attributes name. That's all. No relationship, no data type, nothing will be there, no connectivity. Okay, so this is schema.